What is going on, my friends? It's Recovered Kid Seth here. Time for another informative rant as I walk. So, how to avoid cheating on your diet. My tips and advice on this topic. Well, first and foremost, what you want to do to avoid cheating on your diet is include foods in your diet that you enjoy. You need to make your diet enjoyable. You shouldn't think of certain foods as these are my diet foods and then these are my when I'm not on a diet foods. If you do that, you're totally setting yourself up for failure. So what I suggest is find a way to make eating in a calorie deficit enjoyable as you possibly can. Now, that being said, there's certain foods that obviously lend themselves to making that possible much easier. Foods that are high in volume, low in calories. So like vegetables, fruit, berries especially. Things like butternut squash is a super good choice for a low carb side for your dinners, or potatoes are very filling for most people for a carb source. Obviously your lean proteins, lean meats, and then some dairy options like Greek yogurt is really good. Some people, oatmeal is really filling for them. Another food that I don't think I hear about being talked about when you're dieting, which is helpful, is chili. Like chili is really macro friendly. It's typically very high in protein, high in fiber, good amount of carbs, and you can get versions that are really low in fat too. And it's filling. Chili is a filling. But with that being said, find the meats, the fruits and vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal. Find those foods that you enjoy the most, because those foods are the most filling for the lowest amount of calories. And so that is really the name of the game when it comes to leaning down, is finding a way to avoid being hungry and being satisfied and full after you eat your meals. And so those foods are the best options for that, especially vegetables. But that being said, it's good to have a flexible approach and alternate between the meat sources and the carb sources that you like best, and just eat those same foods all the time. But you have to find a way to cook them and make them enjoyable. You want to like what you're eating. And so if you don't like fruits and vegetables and whatnot, then I'm sorry, you're just kind of shit out of luck. You're going to have to learn to like them if you want to stay lean, because that's the key. You have to enjoy the way that you're eating while you're dieting, so when you stop your diet, you can actually maintain that weight loss, because you're just going to continue eating those same foods that you ate when you were dieting. And so, but now you just could eat a little bit more of them. Or now you can fit in a little bit extra dessert now that you have those extra calories to work with. Because if you're eating nothing but your nutritious, filling foods for the day, just like you did when you were dieting, but now you have an extra 400 or 500 calories to work with, now you can throw some ice cream in on top of that. Now you could fit in a Snickers bar if you want. Now you could have you have more options once you reach your weight loss goals, and now you're just trying to maintain. But you really should, though, continue to eat the same foods. So yeah, that's my biggest advice. If you don't want to cheat on your diet, then make your diet enjoyable so you don't feel like cheating on it. So then you don't have the desire to eat a bunch of food that's not as good for you. And there's definitely something to be said for eating a diet that's very high in whole foods, whole unprocessed one ingredient foods, fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, meat, yogurt, oatmeal, potatoes, rice, those kind of foods. I mean, you'll feel way better. And if you just get used to eating those foods, your taste buds change and you even start craving those foods. I swear to God, like I have on this cut, I started using avocados more often for one of my fat sources, and now I crave avocado like I crave butternut squash. I crave these foods that you don't think of as treats, but to me it's like a treat because it tastes so good. So yeah, that's my first biggest tip on how to not cheat on your diet, is make your diet enjoyable so you don't feel like cheating on it. Don't have good foods and bad foods, just have a way of eating that you can sustain. And that's the key. And that's why I don't recommend doing like low carbohydrate diets to lose weight, or any other kind of fad diet these days, because if you don't like it, when you lose your weight, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to maintain that weight loss. You got to build good habits that'll carry over. And so yeah. But here is my other tip on how to avoid cheating on your diet, is if you do want to go out to eat something that you don't normally eat, like let's say it's pizza or hamburgers. Typically those foods are going to be a lot harder to fit in when you're dieting because they're just very calorically dense, really high in calories. So, like 2-3 pieces of pizza could easily be 700,000 calories right there, and not that filling. So, or like a burger, a burger could be anywhere from 500 if it's a small one up to over 1,000 calories just for, and when you're dieting on 1,800 calories, you just can't fit foods like that in. It's just not possible. But what you can do if you really want to eat one of those something like that you normally don't eat, the best strategy is do some fasting for the day. Try to push your first meal out as long as you possibly can that day. Use intermittent fasting to your advantage, and break your fast with like just protein, and go into that meal with pretty much all your daily protein needs met. So eat pretty much nothing but protein before you go and eat that. And then go out, have your pizza, have your burger and fries or whatever, because you have all your, pretty much most of your fats and carbs saved up for the day. So now when you go into that meal, you could take down 1,000, 1,500 calories in that meal and enjoy it and not feel guilty about it. Because even if you did go over your calories a little bit, or even if you do go over your calories from that, it's not going to be very much. It's going to be a very small amount if you just went into that meal with pretty much most of your daily calories saved up. So that's a strategy I like to utilize if I want to go out and eat a meal at a restaurant or something. It's just save up your calories, go enjoy that meal, and don't feel like you're cheating. Just recognize like, okay, I'm choosing to overeat a little bit today, and that's okay, because all I have to do is, lower my calories for a couple days afterwards, and I'm back to where I was before I went out and enjoyed that meal. And so that's all there really is to it. Just don't think of it as cheating. Just think of it as you're choosing to go over your calories a little bit, and then you can always clean up the mess afterwards. But don't get in a vicious cycle of overeating and then restricting really bad the next day, because then that creates bad habits, and that's not what you want either. It's best to just say, you know what, I'm not binging, I'm just choosing to overeat a little bit today, and I know all I have to do is lower my calories by a couple hundred for a few days, and boom, it's gone. And so that's the way I like to view it. And so yeah, that's the best way to not cheat on your diet. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.